Welcome, family, to another show. Today we have my good friend Andre from Love Crossing Borders. What's going on,
All
Mr.
right, all
Andre?
right, all right, all right. Having a good morning, good day, man. It's a great morning here in Cali. Cali is usually about a good 80 degrees on average. So
hmm
just having a great morning, man. This is beautiful out there.
Oh, nice,
Oh yeah,
nice, man. Nice, nice. I'm out here in Barajajuca, Brazil. So we both, overseas. We loving it and everything.
living that
Um,
life,
living that expat life, man. You already know. So how
man.
long have you been living in Cali, Colombia?
4 years,
Four
4 year,
years. 4 years.
living here 4 years, married 2 years.
Okay, nice. And did you travel to any countries previously before you got to Colombia?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've always been a traveler, even prior to passports. I was a guy that did a lot of cruises, so I've done like 5 or 6 cruises: St. Thomas,
hmm
St. Martin, Barbados, Grand Cayman. Then to Mexico, and then once I got my passport, even in this, like even in the states, the last trip that I took in the states was to the Grand Canyon. So
hmm
I was always out in California somewhere. I was always up in New York, or I was always up shooting up 401 straight up from Detroit to Toronto. So I've always been a traveler. So when I got my
hmm
passport, they it just was definitely something I was going to do. So I was taking 2 or 3 trips to Panama and Costa Rica, and like I say, went back to Mexico. But
hmm
a lot of my friends in Tampa, a lot of people don't know this. Tampa has a huge Colombian population. So a lot of my friends that I hung out with and went clubs I went to were in the Colombian community. And so they kept
hmm
telling me, man, you need to go to our country. And so I was like, you
hmm
know what? Okay, let me go ahead and go to their country. So there was this YouTuber that had about 200 subscribers, right?
hmm
And I hit him up. I was like, Ace, check it out. I'm coming to Medellin, Colombia, and I'd like for you to show me around. So Ace was like, yeah, oh man, brother, you the first brother to ask me that. I'll do that. So next thing you know,
Right.
me and Ace Live hit it off like brothers, and
Mm.
his channel took off and things like that. But I got a chance to see Colombia. So this was like 2017, like
hmm
2017, when I first went to Medellin.
Oh, nice. I can't even remember when Ace had only 200 subs. That must have been a little minute ago.
Yeah, that dude
But
only
you
yeah he
definitely
only
blew
had
up.
200 subs when we met.
So that was your first window into actually seeing Colombia.
Yeah, yep.
hmm
First time
Now
actually seeing Colombia.
okay, let me ask you this. Previously, before that, before you spoke with the people from Colombia and Tampa, what was your first reaction or thoughts of Colombia from what you saw on TV and stuff?
I'm like everybody else. I'm
hmm
going by what the Matrix tells me, what the United States tells me, and that's the mistake that a lot of us make. I went by
hmm
what the United States told me. The United States told me that it was filled with a particular type of substance, and
Right, right,
even the
right.
ladies, and it was more like the ladies of the night type of atmosphere all the way through.
hmm
But from doing my own little, but from talking let's put it like this. Fortunately for me, since a lot of my friends were native Colombians, I was able to hear from their perspective of how many Colombians were in college, how successful women were,
hmm
in up and coming careers. Reggae, Colombia was in Puerto Rico were like on top of reggaeton when it was like really start to take off. So,
hmm
uh, you'll love reggaeton when you get to Colombia, and as well as in Puerto Rico. And so I got a chance to hear about it in a positive light because
hmm
of that. And I met, one of my coworkers was actually moving down to Colombia with his girl, and I was like, I'm looking at all these pictures that they're posting on Facebook, and so that was the fortunate part. I got a chance
hmm
to hear it directly from the people, and not just through the stereotypical statements that we normally hear.
Okay, and did you know that there were Afro people in Colombia at the time?
That I didn't know. That I didn't
hmm
know. When I came down here and met Ace, and he started showing me around, and I'm meeting all these people of African descent,
hmm
and then I find out that they had the opportunity to do what we didn't, and that was to keep their African heritage. You know, they kind of
Mm,
stole and beat our heritage out of us. Here in
facts.
Colombia, they allowed them to keep that African heritage, keep their religion, keep their African names and everything that represented Africa. Still to this day, there are a lot of Colombians that worship and celebrate and have funerals just like they did in Africa in the Congo. I mean, in the Congo years ago.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
uh, that was something I didn't even know. I never heard of Afro Colombians, or you know, you never thought of, other than Brazil, you never thought of South
Hmm.
American Black people.
Exactly. Same here. Same here. When somebody said Afro Colombian, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Colombia got black people?
Right, right.
Yeah, I had no idea. So let's go back a little bit and let's discuss a little bit of your background. What city are you from originally?
I'm originally born and raised in Detroit, and that's why I was able to shoot up to Toronto 401 so easy, because at that time
Hmm.
period when I was coming up, you didn't need a passport to jump across the bridge to Windsor and shoot straight up to Toronto.
Hmm.
But I've spent the last 14 years, and I lived in Cleveland. That's where a lot of my family was from also. But I spent the last 14 years living in Tampa, Florida. So I had the big house in the suburbs. Shout out to Riverview, Florida, which is a suburb of Tampa. I was a college recruiter for the last 20 years, an academic college recruiter. And so
Okay.
at the end of the day, you know, I'm making good money. I'm living in a great sunny city of Tampa, Florida, a sports team city. But at the same time, I really wasn't happy,
Hmm.
or something was missing. You know, and from listening to my friends that lived in Colombia and hearing about this life in South America and how things, like, they couldn't wait to go back. They were like, they're just here for the money, but once they make their money, they're going back home to Colombia with their families. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I want to go ahead and start traveling. But yeah, I started off from Tampa.
Okay. And was that what initiated the travel bug? Just talking with them?
Remember, I was already traveling before, but it kind of
Hmm.
initiated the travel for South America, to where I was like,
Hmm.
okay, let me check out the Brazils, let me check out the Perus, let me check out the Ecuadors, let me check out Colombia. It then started doing the first. It's kind of funny. Outside of Colombia, the second country where people were giving me information on was Venezuela. Don't go. And so
Right.
I found out Venezuela's inflation, and then what was going on in Venezuela, and how problematic their economy was with 13,000% inflation, which was the highest inflation in the history of the world as far as economy. And uh, so that was the second introduction to Colombia, was what we're not to go to.
Hmm. Okay, and it would basically tell you that Venezuela wasn't the place to go because you was talking with Venezuelans or Colombians.
Colombians, and some of our friends were from Venezuela too. So it was like a whole group of us, and
Hmm.
there are a couple of Americans, but most of the group was from South America, from uh, Ecuador, Colombia, and
Hmm.
Venezuela, and they were all telling me about, not because Venezuela was just a bad country itself, but it was just going through its economic struggles. So you don't want to go into a country that's going through that.
Okay, okay, okay. Now you said when you first visited Colombia, you visited Medellin, right? What made
Yeah,
you decide
the
to?
gateway drug, the gateway
What made you
city.
decide to visit Cali, Colombia as well?
Ace had just did a shout out to my man Domain. His,
Hmm.
his his YouTube channel is Let's Learn Spanish, and
Hmm.
he's my Spanish instructor. And Domain had just he was here in Cali. Domain
Hmm.
had just did an interview with Ace Live, and Ace asked him about his apartment, and he was like, "Well, I live in a really nice area in the suburbs," and he said, "I got 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and I pay about a good, a good $250 a month." And
Oh
my
wow.
mind couldn't wrap around that. Like, what
Nah,
did
me
this brother
either.
just say? 250 a month for a two? And Ace said, he said, "Well, you must live in a really bad area." He said, "No, I live in the suburbs." He said, "I live in a beautiful area." He said, "Gated and security, everything." He said,
Mm.
"It's 250 a month." And I was like, "What?" And so I kind of kept that in the back of my mind of, okay, let me go visit this city eventually. And so uh as I came here and started, exploring and enjoying the city, And then I found out that that Cali is one of the few cities with a giant statue of Christ, just like in Brazil, Crystal
Hmm.
Ray. So you see these landscapes, and then I met my wife. It's kind of funny. I met my wife in the mall that just so happened to be 5 minutes away from where we live now. So,
Oh, nice.
so yeah, I know, right? And so
Hmm.
that was another reason why I started coming down. Was like, okay, let me spend time with Andrea, and she was showing me around the city, and she knew I love museums, so she was taking me to museums and a lot of historical places to learn a lot of things about the Afro-Colombian uh, lifestyle and community here, because a lot of people don't realize that Cali has the largest population of Afro-Colombians outside of like Choco or Buenaventura. If you don't live in the main parts, you live in Cali,
Hmm.
because a lot of Black people want to take advantage of the educational and economic opportunities here. So you see a lot of successful Black people here.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question about the Afro population in Cali,
Hmm.
because in Medellin, they're there, but it's more of the Paisa people, the more the mestizos there in Medellin, more so. So in Cali, Colombia, you see more Afro Colombians. What's the general vibe
Yeah.
there? Are they more music? Is it more restaurants, clubs? Like, what's the? Because anywhere where Black people at, it's going to
It's
be a little
everything,
different.
everything from working at the mayor's office to being
Hmm.
involved in restaurants, owning restaurants, to like your barbershops and your beauty salons, things like that. But also a lot of them are educated. A lot of them are in the medical field. I
Hmm.
remember Ace said when he came here, he said, "Man, I never saw a Black Uber driver until I came to Cali." He said, "I never saw Black people, that person that owned their own car." and
Hmm.
and I know there were some in Medellin, but he said I'd never seen it in my 2 years of being in Medellin. I never saw so many Black people on a regular basis that own like expensive vehicles, like a Toyota 4Runner or a Lexus truck. You don't see that in Medellin, but it's nothing to see that in Cali, to see a Black person successful living in nice areas, things like that, because
Hmm.
it's a blended city. I call Cali the Atlanta of Colombia, because it
Oh,
really
nice,
is a
nice.
blend of. Oh yeah.
Nice, nice. So now I gotta ask you, man. Medellin is not known for tasty food. Basically, I know it's a few dishes that people like, a few tasty dishes, but the food is like hit and
It's
miss.
more bland.
Sometimes you would miss the
Yeah.
food. Is Cali
Not
because it's more Afro Colombians in Cali? Is the food a little bit better or?
Right. Absolutely correct. A lot more spicier food in regards to
Hmm.
seasoning, a
Hmm.
lot more recipes. Colombia has 5 states. For a lot of people,
Okay.
they don't realize Colombia is the size of Texas. Just to give you a geographic size, is the exact size of Texas. So just
Okay.
imagine if Texas had 5 states. Each state or region has its own way of creating a meal that you won't see in the other regions at all. And so
Hmm.
sometimes it'd be the same meal under a different name. So here in Cali, because you have such an African influence and impact, there's a lot more seasoning, a lot more flavor of food, especially seafoods, than
That's what I'm going to
I
ask you
found
next.
in Medellin. Yeah,
Mm.
Cali, because we're so close to the Pacific Ocean. We're only like 2 hours away from the Pacific Ocean. Even though we're not close enough to have a beach, we're not too far away where you can still go to Benaventura and you can go whale watching or go see the sea turtles or things like that.
Okay, and but isn't there like a big river or something in Cali that a lot of people
Yeah,
go
the
to?
oh man, I forget the name. We actually have 3 major rivers, and Andre and I just went again for, because everybody goes there. People go there to, it's like almost a spiritual retreat. Like if they're depressed about something, they'll go to the river, and they will. It's almost like a cleansing. And I'm talking about, it's a strong river too, man. It's strong and it is cold. So it's one of those rivers that you want to go to on a hot day, because that
Hmm.
water is ice cold, but it feels so good to your body, so good. And I'm trying to remember the name of the main one that we all go to. I
Hmm.
know it's going to pop up in my mind, but the Panza River.
Okay, okay. And everybody actually swims in this river?
Yeah, you swim in the river. People have grown up from being 3 years old, getting in the water with their parents to 30,
Hmm.
40, 50 years old getting in that water. So it's a very famous area, very famous river, and it's beautiful too, man. I won't lie, it's really, really beautiful.
Okay. And I got a question here, real quick question. I want to just highlight everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. The Great Pretender asks, "Are the Afro Latinas in Cali friendly to the brothers?"
Uh, yeah, and I'll tell you why. And you and I were
Hmm.
talking about this
Hmm.
in Medellin and Cartagena. They're
Hmm.
used to the tourism. They're used to
Facts.
the brothers
Facts.
or any type of tourists coming through. When you come to
Hmm.
Cali, and especially, you don't have to look for the Afro-Colombian community. It's everywhere.
Hmm.
So when you just walking down the street speaking English, heads gonna still are gonna turn, and they want to know who that guy is. They want to know who you
Hmm.
are. And Cali is a very family oriented, very friendly city. uh
Hmm.
they still naive to certain things too. They're hey, you're part of the family now, come on in. You don't know how to dance salsa, as long as you try, you're good. You don't know Spanish, as long as you try, hey, you're one of us. And
Hmm.
so to a lot for a lot of brothers that do make it down here, they realize that Cali is not where you find the party girl, even though you can find them. Cali is where
Hmm.
you find the girl that when you're serious and you're looking for a relationship, or you're just looking for somebody to be cool with when you do come to the city, or to the
Okay.
country.
Okay. And I know in Medellin they speak pretty clear Spanish. So if you're learning, it's a good place to learn
Right.
Spanish. They don't. I mean, they speak fast, but not as fast as the DR or Dominican Republic or Mexico or something
I
like that,
know,
right?
right?
You still can kind of catch it. Do they speak fast over there in Cali?
In Cali, it's a little bit faster than Medellin because Paisa in Medellin is almost like they're singing it, so they're stretching the words out.
Hmm.
But here in Cali, they speak a little bit faster because once again, you have a strong Afro-Colombian influence. And if you've ever been to Cartagena, or if anybody's
Hmm.
ever been to Buenaventura or any region where black people live, they speak Spanish really fast, just like in DR. So if you implement that type of rapid Spanish and bring it down to where people that are indigenous, which is part of Cali, Colombia as well, it has just in other words, black people have to slow down how they speak, and then
Hmm.
everybody else have to speed up how they speak to blend. So in Cali, it's a little bit faster, but it's nothing like a DR. Because even my wife, she couldn't even keep up with Spanish and DR.
Right, 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 right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, is Cali like the king, I guess the king of salsa or something like that? Is it like a really big
Yeah,
salsa culture
it's the
there?
capital of salsa music. Yeah,
Yeah, capital. That's
salsa
what I
music,
meant.
salsa dancing. When you saw the Super Bowl a couple years ago with J Lo and Shakira, most of those dancers in that Super Bowl halftime were from Cali.
Hmm.
Those dancers were from Cali. The ones that was with Shakira, the black people, they were from Buenaventura. A lot of those dances that they were not Buenaventura, but from Barranquilla. So
Barranquilla,
a
right?
lot of those dances that they were doing were Barranquilla dances, but every other dancer in that Super Bowl halftime were from Cali, Colombia.
Okay, nice, nice. Shout out to J Bones for the dollar super chat. I really appreciate that, my bro. So let me ask you this, man.
Shout out Jay.
When I was in Medellin, I was always I will always meet people from Cali and Barranquilla, Cartagena and stuff. And what I heard
Mhm.
from Cali was that it was quite dangerous. Now, Medellin is already dangerous, but they're saying that Medellin is actually safer than Cali. What's the safety thing out there like that?
Me personally, I'm safer. I feel safer in Cali than I do in Medellin because
Really?
Medellin's crimes are on a whole nother level.
See, now the
That
Pisces say that about y'all. Y'all do realize that, right?
you know what? It's even when you look at when you look it up online statistically, they'll say that hey, Cali is one of the most dangerous cities in the world, and you don't hear about you don't hear about, and I'm trying to make this PG as far as the algorithm is concerned. You don't hear
Mhm.
about somebody's taking somebody's life in on a regular basis like you would hear in Medellin. You would hear
Oh, you mean
about
as far as
somebody's kind of
the
like
drugging and stuff like that, druggings and
yeah, yeah,
robberies that
yeah.
happen in? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to hear any of that in Cali. Uh, Cali, you have petty crimes. Like for
Hmm.
example, I had a partner. I told him, I said, dude, don't have your cell phone out, out in public like that. What does he do? I mean, it's just a couple months ago. Brother came down for the first time. He said, Dre, I was standing there on the street corner, ready to cross the street. He said, I could see it happening in slow motion. He said, the guy on his motorcycle rode right past me, looked me in my face, grabbed my cell phone out my hand, looked me in my face as he rode off.
Oh wow.
Those are the type of petty crimes that you see that add up to where people say, "Oh, it's dangerous." No, they're more petty than it is life threatening. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And it doesn't happen all the time, but that's Colombia in general. That's why they said don't give papaya. And the term don't give papaya means papaya is a fruit that once you open it, you have to eat it or it'll rot faster than an apple. And
Uh-huh.
so don't give papaya means like if you open yourself up to somebody to get you, they gotta get you now. Just like run.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that's what I tell people about cat. But other than that, you ain't nobody's coming to somebody else's house or nobody's like kids are missing and things like that. You don't hear stuff like that here.
Okay. Okay. Let me catch a few of these comments. He says, I'm
Go
assuming
ahead,
this
brother.
guy's actually in Colombia. He says, we have a great community, fellas. Cali has wifey material.
Yes,
Shout out to Jamie
very
Leslie.
much
He
so.
says, everything he's saying about Cali girls is facts. Was in Cartagena and met a Cali Afro Colombian just like that. Okay, we got a question here from Chris Michael. He says, how does the weather vary between the major cities in Colombia? Isn't it similar to Medellin?
No,
Mm,
Medellin gets at least half an hour to 20 minutes to an hour of rain for over
yeah.
270 something
Facts.
days a year. That's why it's called the city
Facts.
of eternal spring because
Mm-hmm.
it rains in the spring. Barranquilla, the weather can drop down to the 60s and not 50s but like the low 60s. So that's why in Barranquilla, you either need a coat or a jacket at any given time. It's
Mm-hmm.
the uh it's the 14th largest or 20th, I think it's 20 right now, 20th largest city in the world. And so it has that big city Chicago feel about it. Medellin is number 66 size city in the world as far as uh uh, uh population. Medellin is number 66 in the world. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you have the heat of Buenaventura, Buenaventura, Choco, uh, Cartagena, Santa Marta,
Mm-hmm.
San Andreas, Barranquilla. All those are just all extra hot. What I like about Cali is like uh, Goldilocks. The
Mm-hmm.
porridge is just right. It's not too hot, and it gets just enough rain to keep it cool.
Nice, nice. Now, is it like valley, like a valley? Is a lot of hills and stuff there?
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of hills here, but it's not as much of a valley as Medellin. Medellin is like deep in the pit of a valley.
Mm-hmm.
Cali is still spread out and still has its mountain ranges, so it's almost flat hills. It has a few hilly areas, but for the most part, it's kind of like flat range.
Okay, okay. Shout out to Joshua Epps for the $1.99 super chat. He says, "What up,
Shout
BMT?
out,
Let's get
Josh.
it." Shout out to Joshua, man. So, in concerns of relationships, all right. I know you're probably in quite a few relationships back in the states as well. What just a couple of major differences you see in dating in the states versus dating out there in Colombia?
Um, And I've dated. Let's start like this. Let's lay a foundation. I've dated
Okay, go
every
ahead.
culture that you can imagine in the States. I've dated
Mhm.
from East Indian to Native American to Italian to black to so my statements are broad. It's not just sisters when I make this statement.
Mhm.
Women in the United States are raised to be independent. They are not raised to be wives at all. When you
Mhm.
find a woman in the United States that is wifey material, is because she stands out of the pack of women and is wifey material. Most men in the United States have to compromise their version of or the definition of wife in order to marry in the United States. So when you see somebody fall in love and they're happy in the United States, is because they had to compromise what they really want in a wife to say, okay, I'm marrying my Miss Independent. She's going to go 50% on the bills, 50% on taking care of the kids, 50-50. Only United States people in UK people talk like that. The
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
98% of the planet does not talk like that. And so women in most countries from their from their grandmother to their great grandmother to their mom have taught them and have groomed them to be a wife even if you're successful in business. You see that how I put that?
Mhm.
They're groomed to be a wife, and even if they're successful in their careers in business, that's a plus. But girl, you better still know how to cook, clean, sew, uh,
Mhm.
make a plate for your man, your father. Don't think just because you got married, you can still make a plate for your father when he comes over or whatever it may be. So
Mhm.
I had, like I tell people, I haven't made a plate for myself in 3 years. I don't know what
Oh,
that's
nice.
like to make a plate.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I don't know what it's like to make a drink. I don't know none of that, man. To actually go make my own drink of soda and then actually
Right.
take it back into the kitchen. No, I don't do that. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
And I don't have to ask for it. This is not something I asked for. This is how they were groomed to be. And
Mhm.
if I couldn't imagine. Oh, I remember one time Andrea's mom, grandma, a couple aunts came over and I catered to the ladies. I did all the cleaning, I did all the cooking, I
Okay.
did everything for the ladies.
Uh-huh.
And you should have saw the faces of the women. It was like they were on another planet. Like for this one day, they
Right.
were the ones being spoiled. They couldn't phantom not getting up and making the plate. They couldn't the concept of not cleaning the kitchen, the concept of not making their own drinks. I just said I'm going to cater to you ladies today, and they just it was so hard for them to. Now let's go back to the States. Oh, I would be considered a great man because I cooked and I cleaned and I made the women feel like, yes, I am the queen. You supposed to cater to us ladies.
Facts. Let me get the
So
super chat real quick by Joshua S. with
go ahead, brother.
$99 super chat once again. He says, we answered that earlier. How's the safety? Are the women wifing material? But we're talking about the women right now. And earlier
Yeah,
he said that Cali, he
very much
felt
so.
Cali was a little bit more safer than Medellin, Joshua. All right. And he's
Yeah,
mentioned that
yeah,
most of the crimes in Cali are just petty crimes.
yeah.
You know what, man? I remember when I was in Medellin, and my girl I was dating at the time, she used to like kick me out the
Mhm.
kitchen. She used to be like, nah, you
Yeah.
go sit down. You so because I'm used to kind of I can cook a little bit, so I'm used to kind of like let me throw a little salt on this, a little something, and she's like, nah, get out the kitchen. So that's definitely true. That's very true,
Only time I get a chance to cook is on Taco Tuesday. So I make
man.
tacos, Taco Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's my thing. Other than that, I'm
hmm
no,
hmm
no. And the reason for that is because I'm too busy working on the brand. I'm too busy. Like I said, we got 4 YouTube channels, so I don't have
hmm
time to be up there in the kitchen at the same time making plates and at the same time sweeping floors and stuff. But because of
See,
this,
see,
and
see.
Andrea,
Not to interrupt you, but
mhm,
just that little statement that you said. Some women will have an issue with that, right? They would say, "Well, wait a minute, like, what do you mean? So I'm supposed to just cook and clean and let you do all the work?" Some women will look at that like that.
and that's why some women don't get everything that they want that Andrea gets. There's nothing
Hmm
that, and I'm talking about some stuff that costs like I need 10,000, Andre, for this. Okay, cool. What we about to do? Come on, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
She knows she can get whatever she want from me. There is no limitation in value. I've never sat back with a female in the States in the few relationships that I was in my whole first 50 years of life and ever considered uh spending 10,000 on any chick in the States. Ever
Mm.
allowing a chick to get 10,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 or here, baby, here go your $2,000 purse and what?
I'm
No,
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. If you give a woman $10,000 in Atlanta, she gonna come back with a fat booty. That's what she gonna come with
that's
some
it.
plastic. That's what she gonna do with
That's
10
it.
bands. Her rent could be due,
That's
but
it.
that's what she gonna do. Not all.
So,
Not all.
so
I know I
yeah,
got
yeah,
women that
right,
watch the
right.
channel. Not
But
all,
I,
but
I feel you. But my point in saying that is because she's opened up so many doors. Like when I need to get my driver's license, she was the one that came in and sat down with me for 2 weeks at 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon with the driver's classes and translated everything. She was the one that did all the paperwork for my visa to make sure I had my visa. At the same time, she's an accountant here, a corporate accountant. So she's got clients to go to. Then when she comes home, it's still cook, clean, and blah, 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 the basics. And so seeing all that she brings to the table, oh man, what do you need? Whatever you want, you got it. You got blank
Mhm.
checkbook. Do what you want to do, baby girl. Because I know I wouldn't be able to accomplish the things that I've been accomplishing if it had not been for her allowing me to have the time and the space and the clear, and the clarity to accomplish the things that I've been able to accomplish and continue on to accomplish.
Man, that's a good point. I want to give a quick shout out to Dahana D. Both our friends in the chat. She says, "I love y'all,
I
big brother."
know,
Shout
right?
out to D.
Yeah, D was my translator at the wedding, at our wedding.
Oh, nice, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Man,
that's my girl.
I
Love me
love
some
D to
D.
death, man. Me and D boy,
Oh yeah,
we
bruh.
got some war stories in Medellin. She be begging me to come out there, but she always pulling up in Medellin. So,
Man,
me and D, we have a good
D
time.
D like a gypsy, man. She always traveling somewhere. Always. She always travels to some nice spots too. So
hmm Okay, cool. I'm gonna catch this super chat real quick, and I'm got a question ready for you. Shout out to the great pretender with the $5 super chat. He says, "How does Colombia feel about foreigners starting businesses? Is it better to put the business in your wife's name, or I guess your lady?"
uh it wouldn't matter really.
hmm
Because if you're going to start a business, you're still going to need the licensing and you're still going to need the make sure that the proper location. If it's a brick and mortar, you need a proper location. Like I do all my business here in Colombia. You got to make sure you have your bank account. But as far as at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have to put it in your spouse's name or a joint. There are no benefits, more benefits for to do that than it is for you to open it up yourself. So, you and I know, like the brothers that own the Sweet Georgia, I think it's the Sweet Georgia Cafe.
Yeah, brother
Those
Rob,
brothers didn't have to
good
get
brother.
married to or have a girlfriend and put in somebody else's name to be successful. So there are a lot of guys that actually come down here and buy businesses that already exist as well, and just keep those successful businesses going.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I got another shout out to my boy Jay Clyde in the chat. He said, "What up, Andre?"
What's up, brothers?
Shout out to JM with a $10 super chat. He says, "Sermon is in session. I'm trying to create a remote business online so I can expand my options. This is inspiring." That's what's up, JM. Appreciate that $10 super chat, man. We got,
Appreciate that,
I guess
man.
that's,
That's how you do it.
oh, yeah, most definitely, man. Making money online, boy, I tell you, making a USD online is something else,
Man,
bro,
you could travel
especially overseas.
anywhere. We were in
Mm-hmm.
DR still doing business while we were in DR. In
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, same thing. We're going to be doing the same thing. We're in Brazil. We're going to be heading to Portugal at the end of the year. So we'll be in
Mm-hmm.
Portugal, still making money. We're heading your way towards Brazil in a few weeks. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll still be making money. And that's the beauty of having money online, make your money
Mm-hmm.
online because you're not locked down to one location. And you
Mm-hmm.
can, other than real estate, but uh, you're not locked down to one location, and so you can still do your videos and still run your online businesses from anywhere in the world as long as you got Wi-Fi.
Exactly, man. I was telling even I was on YouTube. I was telling a friend of mine that I said, man, I'd rather make 50,000 online than make 60,000 in the States.
Easy,
because that little 10 grand is
easy,
going to get ate up in America. You
easy,
know.
easy. I tell people that me personally, I would take 50 grand online over 150,000 in the States.
I was gonna
Easy,
say that.
without a
I was
doubt.
gonna say that, but I was like, nah, let me not go too far. I want to, keep it.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah, you absolutely right.
First of all,
Absolutely right.
the your 50,000 basically in South America is already worth, and depending on where you are, it's already
Mm-hmm.
worth between
Facts.
70 to 150,000 anyway. Like 50,000 here is $200,000 because it's multiplied by 4. So you're walking away with $200,000 if you're making 50,000 and living in Colombia itself. So why would I lose $50,000 to live at 150,000 in the States?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm losing out if I stay in the States just to make the 150,000 and get killed on the taxes. But because you have a lot of people don't know, if you don't live in the United States for over 330 days of the year, you have what's called a federal tax exemption, to where you file your regular taxes, but if you make less than $108,000 a year in profits, or whether it be in wages, you're tax free. So now I get my whole, at least out of the 150, I get 108,000 of it tax free. All I have
Mm-hmm.
to do is file the exemption form with my regular tax form. So
Mm-hmm.
while you're still paying taxes for your 150,000 to live in the States, I get, if I just make 50,000, it's tax free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another benefit. So another thing that you can attest to, you have the opportunity to save and invest a lot more. For example,
Mm-hmm.
our
Good point.
apartment in New York would be 3,000. It's because we have the 10 feet of vaulted ceilings, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, brand new building in the suburbs, washer and dryer unit, brand new. Our building is only 5 years old. We've been here 3 years of it. Uh, Free Wi includes Wi-Fi, includes all utilities, includes all cable, and we pay 360 a month.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
and we got a garage for our truck.
That's amazing, bro. That's a very good
So
price.
now instead of paying 3,000 in the States, I can take
Mm-hmm.
the bulk of what I wouldn't pay in the States. Now that's going towards crypto. Now that's going towards NFTs. Now that's going
Mm-hmm.
to EFTs. Now that's going to our other mutual fund accounts. Now that's going to go towards real estate. To whereas in the States, that 50,000 is about to be, I mean, that 150,000 is about to be spent taxes and bills, and I'm broke, but yet I make
Mm-hmm.
150,000. Yeah, you keep your 150,000. I'll live in Colombia with 50
All day long. All day long. Man, you
all
dropped
day.
a lot of good information right there. Shout out your channels real quick, because I know you got a channel that's focused on financial information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mostly money. We
Uh-huh.
just we just hit 100,000. 100,000 about 6 months ago.
Okay.
We're like at 107,000 subscribers.
Okay. And in that channel, you pretty much discuss the benefits of living overseas, but you discuss other things too.
Yep.
Because I know you did a series. What
Yeah.
was that series called? I know you did a couple of videos on something. I'm trying to remember because I watched all of them. What was it on? Oh, the stimulus checks.
Yeah, we did the stimulus, and then we got off into talking about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny. The algorithm has our average viewer, 50% are women over the age of 65 years old
Oh
that
wow.
watch mostly
Okay.
money. Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay.
50% are women over the age of 65.
Well, we definitely going to increase those numbers because brother's going to start going over there, and I'm gonna drop a link in the description after the video to your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
Let me catch a couple of these
Yep.
super chats real quick. Shout out to Sean with a $20 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. He says, living in Santa Marta, I can confirm all he says about the women are facts. Experience dating here, and you'll never go back. Have you been to Santa Marta?
No.
Yeah, I haven't been there
Yeah.
either.
We actually, this is what we did in 2020, a few
Mm-hmm.
weeks before they shut everything down.
Mm-hmm.
We flew to Santa Marta, spent time there, spent $3 to take the bus, really nice fancy bus, to Bed and Kia. partied and
Mm-hmm.
did the festival in Kia, spent $3 and took the 2-hour drive to with the nice bus to Cartagena. So we spent like that whole week to go see 3 cities and spent $6 a piece
Mm-hmm.
and flew back home.
Nice, man. Nice. Shout out to Delano Music, man. With a $5 super chat. He says, shout out to the women in this world that aren't afraid to be in the wind in a man's sails. The right woman will make a man into a millionaire. Shout out to my dude,
Easy.
Delano Music. Shout out to our guy Richie Rich in the building. He's rolled the tape
In
with a
the
$5 super
building. That's
chat.
the man right
He
there.
says, oh
That's the
yeah,
man.
oh
We got
yeah.
1,000 subscribers. Richie got us our 1,000 subscriber on his show, man, live.
Shout
Yeah,
out Richie
man. We
Rich,
owe
man.
Rich. Yeah.
He said, salute BMT. Shout out to Andre dropping game. That's what's up. That is what's up. So real quick, man, I gotta play devil's advocate. You've been married,
Bring it
you
on.
said for a couple of years, right? You've been
Yep.
in the relationships out there in Colombia. Now, some would say that she's only dating you for a green card. How would you answer that?
She could have did that a long time ago. I'm not the first American that my wife has dated. So
Uh-huh.
a lot of guys like attractive, educated women, believe you me. So I'm not the first guy to notice her attraction. My wife doesn't want to live in the United States. She's just like many women around the world that look at the United States like it's a nice place to visit. But she's like, I'm not doing those work hours. I'm not about to do 46 on average, 50 work hours a week. I'm not about to sit back and have a family, but never see my family because it's too expensive to take care of a family. So she's like, it's not economically, it's not worth it. This is the other thing that a lot of people that use the green card excuse, and I give this story to everybody that's used the green card excuse. They don't realize, as an ex-college recruiter that used to work with students trying to get into college from other countries, a lot of their education that they work so hard for, they have to throw that away. My wife is like, I'm not about to give up an accountant career to go do nails or work in a hotel in the United States. I work too hard for my education here to throw a career away to live in the United States doing somebody's nails and somebody's toes. So a lot of women a lot of people that make that green card statement don't realize most women don't want to leave because they built a strong foundation of a career in their home country. And they don't want to throw that away to become somebody's maid or a waitress in the United States. Like, it's not worth it. Like I'm just put in all those years of going to school just to throw it away to be a waitress in the United States, because when they go to the United States, their education doesn't go with them. They start from scratch. And so it's not worth it for her as far as a career. When she's like, listen, I can support my man and his business and continue doing what we're doing and travel around the world, or we can go to the United States and be stuck there. And I'm miserable because she's miserable because she's doing somebody's nails.
Facts.
No, a lot of women want to leave their families either. They're women in South America are extremely family oriented. Even though we're talking about moving to Europe, really soon, we've had to have strong conversations on, okay, what time of the years are we going to go back? Okay, this is the time we're going to go back for 2 or 3 months. Okay, we need to have a piece of property here in Colombia, so we'll always have a place to come back to here. And then, you always have to take in the factor that family is going to be, mom and dad is going to get older. What about this? What about that? Because everything centers around family. All your decisions is centered around family in Colombia. So you don't just say, well, I married an American and we're moving to America. A lot of Colombians don't, and a lot of people that I've seen that live in other countries, women aren't as eager as people think to live in the United States.
Yeah, that's a big misconception. I hear that all the time. If you go like to some of the negative comments in some of these videos, they'll say, "Oh, they only want you because of your green card." But not only your green card, they're only dating you for money. Basically, that you
And
guys
it's
American
not
men
as
have
easy to
money.
get your green card. You got to go through interviews. You got to go through. It's a 3-year process. You literally have to live in the United States 3 years before you even get interviewed for a green card. It's no guarantee that the person's going to be accepted for a green card. So,
Facts.
you can watch 90 Day Fiance and they make it seem like everybody can get a green card. It's not like that at all.
And I think some of that's where it comes from that show. And I try to tell people it's a scripted show. I've been in the film industry for a while. If you got that camera rolling, it's going to be a script somewhere. And what producers
That's it.
do, they have writers and they say, "Hey, let's take this storyline this way." The people might not necessarily be actors. Sometimes they are actors, but it's definitely some bullet points they want to stir the direction. And people like
True.
to see people going through it. They like drama. They like misery. They like to see people that's doing worse than them. They want to say to the screen, "Oh, look at that dummy. She's only with him for that." To make
Yep.
themselves feel better. And that's the point of that show, 90 Day Fiance. So that's where some of it comes from too. Shout out to Jay Clyde. He says also it's not as easy as people think to get a green card. You just mentioned that
Correct.
right there. Quick question from JM with the $5 super chat. He asked, "Hey Andre, how is your Spanish? Are there language immersion classes in Colombia?"
Actually, I've been trying to find Spanish classes that I could take outside the university, and all I found basically are tutors. So I've been having to use a tutor for the most part. I told myself in 2022, I'm really going to buckle down on my Spanish. That's going to be my gift for me. I have conversational Spanish, or I have my ear is so good now when it comes to Spanish, I can relate in. But I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like that person that moved to the United States and never learned English. So but they can get around, the United States, and they've been living in the United States for 30 years, but they don't even know English. I don't want to be that person. And so I
Yeah.
told myself this year is the year for me to really buckle down on my Espanol.
Yeah, I think I'm similar. I'm like the same way, man. I was living in Medellin for a year. I took a couple classes, had a tutors. My girlfriend used to teach me Spanish. So when I hear it, I can understand,
Right.
the direction of the conversation that I'm hearing. It's just being able to speak it back takes some time. You know what I'm saying? Like I can speak kind of like a 2-year-old, like little stuff here and there,
Right.
but it just takes some time, man. That's all it is. It just takes time. The average person, it takes usually about 2 years. So you got some people be like, "Oh, you've been in Colombia for 3 months, you don't know Spanish?" I'm like, bro.
Think about it. I've been here for 4 years, and people looking at me like, even the family still looking at me like, and they look at Andrea like, really? You ain't
Oh
taught your
yeah,
man
yeah.
Spanish yet, girl.
But your wife speaks English
So,
though.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
very fluent.
See,
So,
So yeah, that makes a big difference. And I'm not saying your wife, but I know the women I've dated in the past that were like Latino or Colombian, they didn't want to really teach me Spanish. They didn't want to really because
yeah,
that's an advantage for them now, right? They're like, "Yeah, I'm not about to teach you
right.
Spanish. You about to talk to all my my friends and stuff. No, I'm not gonna do that because we know shout out to Colombian women. We love Colombian women, but we know how they get down with the jealousy. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
muy
boy,
celestial.
that protectiveness.
Yeah, boy. I was dating one girl when I first moved to Medellin, man, and she told me that she had taught an American, a brother, by the way. She taught him
Hmm.
Spanish, and he ended up
Right.
sleeping with her. I think her best friend and her cousin or something.
See.
And she wasn't about teaching me no Spanish after that. You know what I'm saying? So you know how some dudes are, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
brothers do mess it up for other brothers.
They do. They do. They do. That's very true because if you date in Medellin, especially Medellin and Poblado, you got to get past a few things that the certain stereotypes that are all y'all gringos doing is coming. It's not just brothers. It's just gringos in general. They were like, y'all get
Right,
past you only want the fast girls and the cocaine and the Tutsi. You got to get
right,
past
right,
that.
right,
Y'all let them know that, hey, I'm just just a guy here. I love your country. I want to learn about your culture and I want to learn Spanish.
right. Yep.
Shout out to Montana GA with a $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, very good interview. This brother is thorough. Shout out to him. Yeah, my brother
Oh
Andre
yeah,
is very
very much
thorough,
so.
man. Shout out to
Thanks,
Eric
brother.
Powell with the $5 super chat. He said, shout out to the BMT crew.
Oh
Definitely,
yeah.
man. Definitely.
Shout out to Eric.
So in concerns of brothers looking for love, trying to find genuine relationships
Hmm.
overseas in Colombia, do you have any tips you can kind of give them to attract the right woman over there?
You can pregame online through a lot of the apps like Colombian Cupid, Latin Cupid, Tinder. You can
Mhm,
pregame, but don't claim until you get here. I know a lot of guys that meet the ladies online and they claim them as they. I always, I do consultations, and when dudes have not been here yet, I'm like, that's not your girlfriend. Well, we've been talking I said, that's not your girl. I break your buzz. I bust your bubble and I bust your head fast before she does it.
right,
You see
right.
what I'm saying? I would rather bust
Mhm,
your head with the truth before she busts your head when you get off that plane. I say,
mhm,
until you land into this country and you meet this person face to face, that is not your girlfriend. Stop saying that. Stop saying that to other people. So the
mhm.
first bit of advice is until you land on that plane, that is not get off that plane. That's not your boo. Pre-game, have 2 or 3 people set up to meet, not just to mate, but to meet and get to know people. And then you get a chance to weed out. Second thing is I've taken guys out that have said that they've met women before they got here. I got my pregame ready, Dre. I'm set. I got this 1 or 2 that I really like. And then they get here and they see all these Cali curves walking around. And all of a sudden, that person who they really wanted and was talking that good game about, I've been talking to her online for a year. They never even meet that person because they met 4 or 5 people coming all the time, dude. Dudes be
Yo,
their
yo, let
mind
me.
change quick.
Yo.
Mind change quick when they get to Colombia.
Man, you just told my story. For real. I was talking to a girl. I hope she don't see this. She just called, by the way. So it's like for 7 months in the States, right? Now, I didn't call her my girl until, we got there and stuff like that. We
Right,
talked.
right.
And she kept trying to get me from going to Medellin. She wanted to come with me, but I said, let me just go there. I got some friends. I want to move around. I'll buy you a ticket. You come to Medellin. Let me just, socialize a little bit, right? She didn't want to
Right.
do it. So she got really upset. And I got to Medellin. And I did exactly what you said, bro. I just kind of forgot about it, bro. Like it was just too much going on. The
It
women are
was
just
too
too
much,
beautiful, and you're meeting them
too abundant.
left, right. Because unlike Brazil and Medellin, you definitely stand out a little bit more. Your
Right,
size, you black,
right,
it's like you stand out a little bit more. So you're going to be moving around and not this is necessarily the club, but just the grocery stores. You're gonna start giving out your number, and the line is, and I shouldn't even say this line, but I'm gonna say it, anyway. You know what I mean? Hey, do you want to learn English? I'll teach you English. You teach me Spanish. That right there is gonna
yep,
just you're gonna jump in front of a lot of guys just by that. And they're serious. They're
yep.
serious about learning English. But that's going to
Yes,
open
they
up the
are.
door. It's going to open up the door right there. Just that little statement. And I learned this from a friend of mine out there. Shout out to the Jay, the DJ out there in Medellin. He's a very popular DJ out there. He has a
Right,
huge network. And when he will approach women, on my behalf, and that's what he likes to do for whatever reason,
right.
he'll say, do you know English? And she'll say, no. Do you want to learn English? And she'll say, of course, por supuesto. And he's like, okay, he knows English. She knows Spanish. There you go. And he'll walk off. And
Yeah,
we'll just start
yeah,
conversing just like
yeah.
that.
They
So
do that here too.
absolutely right, man. Absolutely right.
Yeah, you're the one that you. I mean, you've been claiming her. You've been texting her. You've been doing video chats with her while you're in the States. As soon as you go off that plane and you look around and you see all these other women, and you looking like, who? You forgot all about that person or people who you pre-gamed with. So I always tell guys, first step is make sure that you're here first. Secondly,
Uh-huh.
don't be thirsty. One thing about
Big
Colombian
time.
women, I've heard them say it a lot. They don't like thirsty dudes. They
Mm-hmm.
they do not. They're attracted to you for you, but as soon as they sense the energy of you being thirsty, because
Mm-hmm.
you only here for a few days or a week or two. If you come across like hurry up, give me what I want. They're like they close up, they become shy. And
Mm-hmm.
so at the end of the day, the party girls, they don't care. But I'm talking about real girls or real women that you probably look for something that's more serious. They don't like thirsty dudes. So number two, don't be thirsty. I had to tell a dude that last night. We're in the club. It's the 3 of us dudes. We're in the salsa club. This dude, he was in the same situation. Came down here to meet somebody. I took him out.
Mm-hmm.
We spent the whole night bumping this dude's shoulder because he would be staring so hard at certain women. I'm like, dude, bump old boy, man. he come across
Yeah.
creepy thirsty. And
Andre,
so,
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I stopped hooking up. I stopped hooking up guys, bro. I stopped it. You know, I was like, yo, y'all be dropping the ball, making me look bad, man. I've had dudes
yeah.
make girls literally cry on double dates, and I'm like, yo, bro, you doing too much right now, bro. You
The
know,
most.
the most, man. You don't have to do all that. And I think sometimes
No.
guys that, don't have experiences dating really beautiful women in America, they come out here and it's just like, oh wow, this girl actually giving me a shot. And they just kind of clamp up and get a little nervous and try to do too much. And they can recognize that. They like Colombian women like guys that are laid back. You know what I'm saying? Like be
Yeah.
laid back.
Yeah.
And,
I,
and
I, I, t-
lot,
I was tell Go
go ahead,
ahead.
bro.
For example, I was telling Andrea last night when I came in. I
Mm-hmm.
told her, I said, in the 4 years I've been here, I've never asked a woman to dance, and I'm always on the dance floor. I
Mm-hmm.
never, and I dance with some. I always try to dance with the most beautiful one in there, or beautiful
Mm-hmm.
ones in there. All I do is walk up and put my hand out, and they just put their hand in that palm of my hand, and we on the dance floor. I don't give off thirsty energy. Half the time, I don't even look in their eyes. My confidence is I'm the fine one. I'm the blessing. If I put
Mm-hmm.
my
All
hand in
day.
front of you to dance with you, you should feel blessed. You better be happy this 6'3" black man walking up on you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've never one time felt that unease or, oh, she's so beautiful. She may not want to be around or dance. I never go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Never go through that. So number 2, do not be thirsty. Number
Mm-hmm.
3, be comfortable enough to be yourself, because Colombian women think a man that tries to just enjoy himself is attractive. You can't dance, get on the dance floor. They just love to teach you stuff.
Oh,
You've
but
never had
facts.
aguardiente, try aguardiente for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They just love they are attracted to a man that tries. Is your Spanish bad? Let it be bad for right now. As long as you're
Mm-hmm.
trying. Colombian
Mm-hmm.
women love the fact of a man. They think trying is sexy. That's sexy to
Mm-hmm.
them. A man that's at least trying. He's not in the corner with his arms folded, or he's not trying to be a New York thug in Colombia. This Colombia is not New York. You ain't got to be like that. And
And
so
you got and you got some
that's
you
the
got some
first.
real tough guys in Colombia too. Some real tough guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
simmer down, man. You on vacation. Be
Mm-hmm.
cool. And the
Relax.
ladies just
Tranquilo.
think that, yeah, relax. Just get out there and just have fun and laugh and smile. And next thing you know, you guys in your Airbnb together, because she enjoyed the fact that you just didn't take yourself too serious.
Mm-hmm. Facts, man. Facts. I remember one time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the little PUA movement and pickup artists on YouTube. They got like a little bit of a
Yeah, yeah,
following
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So one of them guys, he actually stays down there in Colombia, and they had a camera, and they was approaching Colombian women out there, and the women you could tell in their face they were so uncomfortable with, hey, he was asking how do he look, to the women, and they was like
Right.
he had a lot of muscles, and everything. He had like these
I know
lifts in his
exactly what you're
shoes.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
So the girls just like, yo, we don't like all that. Like, yo, what do no, we rather have a man that know how to build a fence. It's like,
Thank
yeah, like,
Dude,
yo, you don't got to do all that.
as you well know, you see some of the most goober. I'll give you a perfect story. I love
Mhm,
telling this story. I'm
mhm.
in the mall, see this teenage kid, man. Just he had to be like 19 years old, 20, big glasses, built like Steve Rogers before he became Captain America, built like David Banner before he became the Hulk. I'm talking about chest kid, this little skinny just kid walking.
Mhm.
But his woman, who was all over him, an 11.
Mm,
And that's
mm.
not uncommon to see the normal dude
Facts.
with the hot chick.
Facts.
If you go to the gym like me, cool. I do a lot of it for my health. I got a younger 27-year-old wife, so hey, at 54, I got to take care of my health. The other thing is, I know that I'm on YouTube all the time, so I have to look a certain way for our brand. But
Mhm,
for the most part, to be walk around Mr. Muscle, Colombian women really don't. You'll see dudes with guts and just regular shaped dude, and they just confident in their own skin. That's what the women are attracted to. Are you
Mm-hmm.
confident in your skin? If you are,
Mm-hmm.
that's sexy to them. If you aren't, that's creepy to them.
Mm-hmm. No, no, no.
You
Those are
know?
straight facts, man. All valid points because I've experienced this. For myself, I've seen it. Exactly what you're talking about. You'd be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, she with him? She with that guy?" But yeah, man. That's
Yep.
it's a very romantic culture.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Very much
Yeah,
so.
man.
Absolutely correct.
Well, bro, I like to
And
keep
so
the interviews. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so a lot of guys come here with a misconception, and I understand it. Think about it. Uh, we go through so much rejection as men in the
Mm-hmm.
states to
Mm-hmm.
be with the attractive chick. To be, we have to have a certain amount of status or money or whatever it may be to be with the level of hot chick that we want to be with. For many guys, unless you're a guy like a few of us that may have the charisma or the look or the money to be able to get past over some of those hurdles, and then you come to South America and you think subconsciously that you have to jump the same hurdles you did in the United States, but you
Facts.
don't. You don't. Just be you. And I can't overstate the being comfortable in your skin. I got a partner
Mm-hmm.
down here. He's been here for a year. This dude is all over the city, loved by everybody because this dude is comfortable with the fact I don't know Spanish like that. And so I'm gonna just walk up on people speaking English and just we both gonna have to figure it out. And he's so comfortable in his own skin that women just love this dude just based off the fact that he's like, I'm just gonna be me. And that's what Colombian women look for. It is not like North America. And even if they reject you by saying that I may have a man or I'm not interested, I have yet to see a Colombian woman reject somebody by way of insulting them like a lot of women in the States do. "Oh, how
Say,
you
say that one
doing,
more.
sister?"
Say that
"Why?
one more time.
What you want from me?" That's the
Mm-hmm.
state side. In Colombia,
Mm-hmm.
they'll never disrespect a man like that. You are a man. They will never disrespect you like that if they aren't interested. Go ahead.
You know what? That's straight up facts. I remember I was watching, I think, a reality show. I was watching some show where a woman was talking kind of crazy to a man, and the girl I was with, she was Venezuelan. She was like, "Why is she talking to him like that? Women shouldn't talk to men like that."
Mhm.
And it just threw me off. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, wow, because we're so used to it in America. It's like, yeah, talk to me any kind of way, even though I'm three times your
Yep.
size. Yeah, just talk to me.
Yep.
And guys get used to that. Some guys might even think that's love. No, it's not love, man. It's disrespect. Honestly speaking, you know. But most definitely, and another thing,
Absolutely
and
correct.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, man. I appreciate you coming on, but
Oh, yeah.
now I kind of know how it feels when a woman gets to it, like a beautiful foreign woman. Let's just say she's from the Philippines or something, and she gets off that plane in
Right.
America, even though she's dating, she's with a man. I know it's very tempting for her to really see what she can get, right? And it's the same
Right.
thing in Colombia. You've been pre-gaming, talking to this woman for however long, but when you get to Colombia, you sit down, you like, okay, wait a minute, this chick right here, she choosing on me, this chick. Oh, let me
Right.
see what's up with
Right.
her.
Right.
Let me see what's up. Oh, it's another one right
Right.
here. Oh, let me see what's up with her. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's a beautiful thing, man. It's definitely a beautiful thing because what I love about living overseas is the fact that in America, you're kind of expected to date your, you know, people similar ages, right? Rather, right?
Right.
Uh, you know, but in the overseas, it's not like that, and we know that men
No.
and women we age a little differently. We just do. You
True.
know, men can kind of carry over their sexual market value just a tad bit longer. A little longer, man.
True. Absolutely
Women are
correct.
generally prime. 19 to 25. That's where they can get the most highest value man they're probably going to ever get
True.
in most cases. As a man,
True.
you don't really hit that little step, until you like 35 plus, because your mind is
Absolutely
like,
correct.
more now. Like you more experience is everything as a man. You know more now.
Mhm.
And women, they look at men differently than then we look at women. We value beauty and youth versus they value uh you know comforts or something like that. You know what I'm saying? What can this man
True.
do, basically? So that's the beautiful thing about living
Did
overseas.
you?
You can date
I
women like that. Go ahead, bro.
I got a question for you. Did
Mhm.
you, when you were going back to the States after traveling, did you have a sense of dating arrogance? Because
Oh, bro.
once I went back to the States, man, a woman in the States, I don't care how she looks, she couldn't touch. Don't touch me. Don't say nothing
Mhm.
to me. Don't speak to me unless we could be friends. I ain't
Mhm.
smashing nothing in the States. I can't tell you the last time I even before I got married and met my wife, I
Mhm.
wasn't touching women in the States. Nothing. There was
Mhm.
nothing a woman in the States could do for me. I'm walking around with dating arrogance. I'm walking past the hottest chicks, ain't looking back, ain't trying to get no eye contact, nothing.
Right, right, right.
Don't look. I want. Don't glance at me.
Mhm.
I
Yo,
had dating arrogance. The more I traveled, the more I realized that I was valuable and I was a blessing, and that the women in the States
facts.
was the ones that was on that BS. Oh man, it was nothing that they could tell me. And to this day, I'm still somewhat like that with when I'm just conversing with women, like doing a live stream or doing something, and I'm talking to women in the United States.
Mhm.
What can you tell me?
Mhm.
You know, nothing.
No, no, no,
That
no.
I'm missing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same,
Did you
same
go
here,
through
man.
that?
Oh, absolutely, 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 man. And the women, because I did a lot of videos and photo shoots with women, and we might even
Right.
go out, but I just be straight up with them, like, yo, we cool. You my sis. They'll
Yep.
be thrown off like, did you just friend zone me? I'm like, nah, I ain't
Yep.
friend zone you, but we good. I just like to hang out and but most definitely, I
Yeah.
remember when I was in America, and a couple of my my cousins wanted to go to a strip club, and I'm like, nah, bro. It's like, nah, I could never go to a strip club
Ever
ever
again.
again,
Ever again. That's never gonna like what?
never.
Please. To what, throw money in the air? We don't do that in South America. We sorry, bruh. Nobody's throwing money in the air. That's an American thing. And so
Hmm. Shout out to
yeah,
Grego 712. He said some people that don't travel don't know their value. That's extremely true, man. You know,
true.
when I see these athletes and these entertainers, these rappers rotating the same women, dating after each other, I just be like, I don't understand it no more. Like, bro, do you know how many women that look like Beyonce in South America and Lori Harvey's in
Right.
South America, bro, that are
Yep.
humble with it? And that's the big thing
Very.
about South America in general. These women are humble with they look. Some of them don't even know how beautiful they are because it's so competitive out here. You feel me?
And that's true. That's true because their cousin and their mom and their sister have the same genetics, and they're
Hmm.
just as attractive as they are. And the girls that they went to school with are just as attractive. So they, they know to keep up their hair, to keep up their appearance, to keep feminine, to be respectful to the men in their lives. A lot of times
Hmm.
women,
Hmm.
another misconception that people have about women in South America or women in other countries in general, the misconception that women in the United States have is that they're only doing that because it's you. You're an American boyfriend, so that's why they're doing it for you. They're
Hmm.
submitting to you. And I say this, I say, boo, she does this for her little brother. She does this, she makes her little brother plate, her dad's plate, her granddad's plate, her nephew's plate. Any male in her life gets respected as a man from the time that little man is born.
Hmm.
So to sit back and act like I'm the special child, no, I'm the end. I'm at the end of the line of all the men that she has been cooking for her whole life and making a plate for her whole life. So to sit back and say, well, she's only doing that for you because you're doing this, you're doing that, that's not true at all. These women
Facts.
are groomed to be wives and good mates.
Hmm. That's very true, man. And just to make it clear, you still got to date a little bit because I think some people would
Of
be like,
course.
"Oh, you're not married yet." I've been in Brazil for 4 months, bro. Like I just got
Yeah.
here. Like, when you gonna have some babies? I'm like, bro, let me move around a little bit. Let me learn a little bit of the culture and the language,
I
man.
got
Trust me.
I got a tip for you. Colombian women, for the most part, don't like to date. They like to hang out. They don't
Facts.
consider it dating because they may like it's not like the States. If you don't spend 500 on me, you don't on this date. If you don't spend 200, Colombians are like, let's hang out with either a movie or some coffee or walking in a park or so it's
Mm-hmm.
not so necessarily have to be around food. As long
Mm-hmm.
as she's spending time with you, that's the hangout. So it doesn't necessarily have to technically be a date like it is in the States to where a woman is like, where you have to I pay the bill because you took me out on this dinner, or how in the States you have women that will date a guy they're not interested in, but just for a free meal. That's why here in Colombia, women, and we did a show with Afro Wahita and I think it was Afro Wahita and D, and I think D was there, maybe not, and Andrea about dating in Colombia, and each woman was saying Colombian women don't technically look at it as dating. They want you to look at it as hanging out because now they don't feel obligated like they owe you after
Mm-hmm.
a date. But if it's hanging out, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's facts. That's very, very true, man. I'm glad you pointed that out because I realized that in Colombia and Brazil to a certain degree, like when the women actually like, there's no I'm gonna go out with him just to get a free meal and I'm gonna bounce.
Right.
Like if you take a woman
Right.
to a nice restaurant, she actually is genuinely she has an interest in you, and only you can mess that up. Some cats blow it, but if you just be laid back and just get to, I tell some of my friends, yo, let her talk. You don't have to understand everything she's saying. Just let her talk, you know, and you'll be surprised how far just letting her talk and her enjoying your company will go out there in
Hmm.
Colombia. I want to give a
Hmm.
shout out to author Alan Roger Corey, ARC. He was on the panel last week. Shout out to ARC.
That's what's up.
He's a dating coach as well. He says, your guest is similar to me. He's 54 and his wife is 27. I am 58 and my wife is 30. And I
There
agree,
we go,
being
brother.
thirsty, i.e., sexually desperate, is a sexual tension killer. Good discussion, title, and subject. Shout out to ARC, man.
All
Much
right.
love
Shout
to
out to the
ARC.
brother.
You know, when I go in on the PUA coaches, me ARC respects the Passport Bros movement, and so he doesn't,
That's what's up, man.
and a lot of those guys take his information and run with it. I always call him the godfather of the dating. I don't even consider ARC a PUA coach. He's more of a dating guy. He really knows a lot about female nature, man. So shout
See,
out
that's what's
to
up.
ARC, man. That's my dude. Shout out to Eric Powell. He says with a super chat, mark my words. U.S. men, but especially the women, they're going to turn into an entirely third gender. Watch SYSPM. Save yourself, black man. Shout out to Eric Powell, man. So, fam,
Yeah.
I
Shout
appreciate
out
you
you.
coming on the show, man. That's another classic show, man. Appreciate you coming on. You dropped a lot of good
Anytime.
game, a lot of good information, man, about financing and getting money online and the value of getting money
Yeah.
online, and also genuine relationships, man. Because we know we got a lot of brothers that we have our fun and our travels, but we want
Hmm.
somebody to come home to, and take care of us, and we can take care of them. This was definitely a grown man conversation, man. Great conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
All
thank
right.
you for inviting me on, man. Anytime. Great audience. Like I said, great question. I'm glad we got to share our experiences as black men living
Mm,
in South America to encourage other, and these are my closing statements. Just
go ahead,
encourage
bro.
other men that it is possible. You don't have to wait until you're retired. You don't have to wait until you have a giant nest egg. All you have to do is have enough money to tide you over until your plan come to pass. Like you may be
Mm,
working an online job, but your goal is to have an online business. Okay, work that little online job while you're here in South America, and but at the same time you're building your business. I would rather be working for, like I said, if I was making $30 an hour in the States and I had the choice to work online for $15 an hour in South America, I would take that $15 all day long and get the heck out the United States. I love the
right on.
United States. I love Americans. But if it's in your heart to travel, you don't need a bunch of money to get started. Don't believe that myth because you're looking at two men that did not start with, oh, I need to make sure I had $300,000 in my savings and investments before I moved to South America. No, dog, we didn't start like that at all. At all.
Facts, man. Very good point. Very good point, man. But once again, man, appreciate you coming on the show. Peace.
Oh yeah. Peace.